Is Felger Maz your favorite afternoon show?
Yes, 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 yes.
Felger and Maz.
Mike Vrabel is now going to counseling. I assume it's marital counseling. They didn't differentiate what type of counseling it is. Mm-hmm. But he is now going to miss Saturday's day 3 of the NFL draft. So this is emergency counseling. But if I may be the guy to ask the obvious questions, if this counseling that he's going to is such an emergency, right?
Yeah.
Why not go today? Why not go yesterday? Right?
Right.
Why skip day 3 of the NFL draft on Saturday, where the Patriots have 8 of their 11 picks in this year's draft, when you could simply go on Sunday or on Monday, when whatever therapy, counseling session, or counselor you're going to go to? It just doesn't make sense. If it's an emergency to get counseling, then you go yesterday.
Of course you do.
You check yourself in, you walk into the therapy center, and you sit down and you bare your soul, right?
Yeah.
Or you go today. So the fact that at 12:30 last night, the New England Patriots through and Mike Vrabel announced that he is going to be skipping day 3 of the NFL draft, where the Patriots have 8 of their 11 picks, tells you a couple of things. There's a chance now that Mike Vrabel gets fired, A. And B, the New England Patriots and Mike Vrabel must be scared to death that something else is coming.
And he's been hitting the story head on, all the relevant facts, those last 2. Do you think that Mike Vrabel's job is in jeopardy, and do you think they're worried about more revelations coming?
Yes and yes. Yeah.
You think his job's in jeopardy?
I think it's a small percentage. I don't think he should lose his job, but yesterday it was 0%. Now I'd put it at maybe 5. That's more than yesterday. I think there's a small chance there. And maybe he doesn't lose it completely, but I could see him being on ice for a year. Yeah, you go away while this thing kind of cools down here.
But what would have to – it would have to be more than – even if he had a long-term affair with Dianna Russini and he lied about it. It has to be more than that, doesn't it?
Not if he lied to the boss. Again, if this is it could be as simple as...
Really? The boss that...
Yeah, look,
I'll just put politely, is imperfect like the rest of us and knows the human condition.
Of course, but he's still the boss, Mike. And so on the day of his hiring and everything that this franchise has gone through, we all know, look, like, I don't want any more problems. I just dealt with a headache with Belichick at the end here. Mike, I know you. I know he's a player. I know some of the stuff that might have gone on with you, what you had in Kansas City. There was that drinking thing, in 2010, whenever it happened to be. There's nothing else, right? Be upfront with me. There's nothing else. No, Robert. Okay, then you're hired. And then this comes out? That's enough cause to fire a guy, or at least put him on ice for a year while you reevaluate, or whatever term you would maybe want to use. Again, Is it? Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if it is.
Pending new information, there's not enough right now.
I don't think so.
So now listen, if he were 4-13 instead of 14-3,
oh God,
okay, that's a different
and
story.
He was making a lot of money,
yeah,
which he is.
But he's a quality coach, so you give him some rope.
They would use it as an out on the contract for sure.
Yes, so he's going to get latitude because of that, because he's a good coach, and and they like him and all that stuff. So I don't think they're there yet, but tell me if there's more coming out.
It's not 0. And I don't want him losing a job. I don't think he should lose his job. But it's not 0. I think there's a minuscule chance.
Well,
and if more comes out and it's real and it's bad, then it's definitely on the table.
Mike, the other, just quickly,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Go.
The only other thing I would add is not only do I think he's not in jeopardy yet, I think they'd be wrong to do it. I think it'd be a mistake. Now, look, it's their team. They can do whatever the hell they want. I mean, when I say it's wrong, I'm just saying, in my opinion, you should work with this guy. He's worth it. And so he's made, some really stupid decisions here, but he's worth fighting through it with him. That would be my advice to them. And I don't think they're there yet to fire him, and they shouldn't.
It might not be the best analogy, but it is another one of their properties, the New England Revolution. They basically fired
Bruce
Arena for nothing. I mean,
I have no idea what that story was.
Inappropriate remarks is what it was. The next thing you know, he's out.
But this is another guy that was probably making a lot of money. He's a big-time soccer coach. And I can't remember what the record was at the time, but I don't know.
Hadn't they just won the Supporters' Shield? Like, they were real good.
But anyway, I never thought we'd get to this spot with Vrabel in the first place. I didn't think this would have this much legs, but it does. So you do wonder. Okay, so listen. This thing started over 2 weeks ago. Other shoes have dropped. Shoes continue to drop. Are we done with the shoe dropping, or is there still more?
Well, now I think there's more.
Oh, I think there's more coming.
Yeah, like
do you really?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Do you have a hint about that?
I mean, if these internet streets are onto anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, look, who knows? The internet's full of lies, but I tell you,
sometimes there's some truths in there. Well, so talk to me off the air.
Yeah. I mean, the internet streets have their teeth into something. So
really,
yeah.
So look, to me, there are obvious questions to ask without even knowing what these internet streets are, where they're driving us. Okay, I would say one is, are there any other women? I mean, that's a logical thing.
But is that still grounds?
Well, I mean, who knows?
If he throws himself into rehab, he says, I'm a sex and love addict, and he throws himself into rehab, I had a problem, and I admit it. Doesn't that, I don't know, is that a fireable offense?
Well, I mean, I could see him missing time, and I will also say a lot of people didn't think Udoka should get fired, and he did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he should get fired. I'm just.
And did he sit a whole year before Houston hired him? I forget.
Yeah,
that
I think
time.
he did.
Yeah,
I think
so
that's
the timeline I could see this playing out. I'm going to go work on myself. I'm going to sex and love rehab, whatever something like that. That he's still an employee of the Patriots, but he just goes away for a year.
There has been a development in the last day. Like, this was not the plan, because this is the one thing I feel strongly about here is that if the counseling and the missing day 3 of the draft, like that was always in the cards, it was just all big one piece, then that would have come out Tuesday morning when he addressed the media. It would have been a very simple thing to present as one package. He gives that statement. He appears on camera. It's revealed that he's going to seek counseling and he'll miss day 3 of the draft. That would all come out right then and there. But it didn't. He talked actually about how excited he was for the draft process and bringing new players in here and how hard Ryan and Alonzo and the guys are working. And I'm looking forward to how excited he is this weekend.
He did. He did kind of a 180.
And then all of a sudden, Wednesday at midnight, I'm seeking counseling and I'm going to miss day 3 of the draft. Wednesday at midnight. So the Post had some new photos of him canoodling with Dianna Russini 6 years ago in a bar in New York City. And they called him on it on Wednesday afternoon. Was that it? Were the 6-year-old photos enough to get him to tell Reese at midnight that I'm seeking counseling and I'm stepping away from the day 3 of the draft? That was it? Or is there something else and there's another shoe to drop? Is something more coming?
Well, good question. But I think you have to allow for the possibility now.
Oh, I'm allowing for it.
Okay, you should. I mean, again, really, if we think about it, these pictures in the bar 6 years ago, way more damning than
hell yeah
than the ones at Sedona in terms of the physical relationship.
And definitely more than
he
the
was
ones.
Kissing her. She had his legs between her legs, sitting face to face. Right? So there was actual physical affection shown beyond holding hands and dancing on a rooftop.
They sat close to each other while conversing at the bar, at one point appearing to share a kiss. Quote, they were kissing and they were all over each other. An eyewitness told Page 6 he had a ring on. At the time the photos were snapped, Vrabel was already married to wife Jen, while Russini said, I do, while Russini got married to her now husband, Shake Shack executive Kevin Goldschmidt, just 6 months later. Each share 2 kids with their respective partners. I'll just state for the record, Dianna Russini's 5-year-old son is named Michael. Russini and Vrabel, again, whose wedding ring was visible in the photos, were, quote, very close to each other throughout the evening, according to our insider who witnessed Russini's legs in between Vrabel's legs. The eyewitness told Page 6 that Russini and Vrabel were at the hole-in-the-wall bar until around in the bar at around 12 a.m. and stayed for at least an hour, flying under the radar. Quote, they were having a glorious time. They were giving each other pecks, a bunch of pecks constantly, the source added. There was nobody in there. Nobody knew who they were. I don't even think the bartenders did. That was on March 10th, 2020. I'm sorry, March 11th, 2020. On March 10th, 2020, Dianna Russini appeared on ESPN on the Get Up show and said, according to what she has gathered from insiders with the Tennessee Titans, that they would not be interested in Tom Brady, that they would be going back with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. And the it was on the Greenberg Show, which is in New York City. So that came out yesterday. Well, that came out today. Vrabel was made aware of this Wednesday afternoon. In between, he said, I'm going into counseling and going to skip date. So was this story enough to get him into counseling? Or is there another shoe to drop?
Well, it might have been enough to get him into counseling if his wife didn't know that the affair was going on for at least 6 years.
You better hope that's all that is. Because if there's another shoe to drop, then this story is not over. There's a reset for you. I keep swearing, and I promise you this time. Calls on everything right after this.
Bruins Buffalo tonight at the Garden. Elgar and Maz at Hurricanes at the Garden. Brought to you by Ice Cold Coors Light, official partner of the Boston Bruins on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
One, is it more serious than we imagined? Or two, is this really about the blowback? And they're just trying to say, hey, we're holding our guy accountable too. We know that Dianna Russini's had to deal with some issues here, but we're just trying to let you know that, look, we're going to make our guy miss the third day of the draft because we're holding him accountable here, and he's got to fix some things. I mean, it almost feels like it's almost PR-ish to me too, Mike. And again, I give respect to Vrabel for going to do it and putting his best foot forward and all that. Not trying to be negative there, but yeah, the timing of it is curious. There's no doubt about that.
All right, back to your calls here as promised. Matt and Malden. Go ahead, Matt. Matt and Malden, are you ready? His comment line says the Mike Vrabel situation is all Mike Felger's fault. It's all
Really? What did you do?
my fault. Nothing that I know of other than cover it, amplify it, talk about it.
What were you, like Tiger's middleman?
Colin in the car. Go ahead, Colin. We're taking calls now, everybody. Are you ready? Colin in the car. Are you there? Okay, let me say it again. We're taking calls. Are you ready to go? Kevin in New Hampshire. You're up next. Go ahead, Kevin.
Nope.
Hey, guys, you got me thinking, what if Vrabel, this is beside my point, what if Vrabel's wife gave him the ultimatum eventually, the team or me, and he has to resign? But my point was, Jim brought this up earlier with Dianna Russini's son being named Mike, and I almost needed a pair of North Shore diapers. That's diabolical that she would name her son Mike, even if the husband named the son.
Agreed.
You got to think in the back of your mind, you got to be like, let's pick a different name.
Kevin, it's dark.
It's real effed up.
Even if it wasn't her suggestion, if he says I really want it to be Mike,
wouldn't you fight against it?
Forgive me again. What's his name? Do we know?
Kevin?
Oh, okay. I'm just curious. I couldn't remember. Because if he's Mike, I guess
I got it.
changes
I
it
got
a
it.
little.
No, Kevin.
Know. Okay.
I mean, real dark. Pick a different name. Dianna. Pick a different name. Jesus. That poor kid. Now he's got that hanging over him. That's going to follow him probably. Because people suck. And kids are mean. And people are mean.
I mean, look, part of the damning thing about these photos in the bar is that 6 years is before any of these kids were born. So now it opens up all kinds of possibilities in terms of, if you want to go down that road, paternity and everything else.
Here's Joe in Charlestown. Jimmy, I'm all locked up down here at the Hurricanes. Going to be up Joe in Charleston on the Red Sox. Yes, Joe. Joe, are you there?
Come on.
I don't think Vrabel's the only one who needs counseling here. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think Vrabel's the only one who needs counseling. I think Roman Anthony needs to step in because that guy's hitting the bottle like there's a message at the bottom of it. Listen, I think it's 2011 all over again, and they're having chicken fries, and they're drinking beers out there, and they're having a good old time.
Okay, I'm not sure about that, but on the internet streets, is Roman Anthony...
That's first I've heard of it.
Yeah, out a lot?
I don't know. They're young guys. I'm sure they go out. My concern right now is that they might have ruined him, and he's hurt.
Yeah, I have no idea what he's doing off the field. I don't think that's the story.
No, I don't either.
I think.
Unless he's like, starting bar fights and like,
right.
Which, and I'm not accusing him of that. I'm just saying
these guys either aren't ready, or they've had too much been put on their shoulders, and they have not really been allowed to be brought along slowly. The bottom of the order, hitting 200, and it's okay. We're scoring runs and winning, and we don't need you, and you're just developing naturally, organically, without the expectations and the weight of the organization on your shoulders, except they suck, and the weight of the organization's on their shoulders, and that's what I think's getting to them.
I mean, I think it's the second thing because what I would ask you is this. He struggled a little bit when he came up last year. Okay, had some good at-bats, but didn't get a lot of hits. Then he caught fire. Did he look like a kid that was overwhelmed by the big leagues and he's not that good?
No.
Or did he, and all of a sudden, so what's the difference between then and now? They put him in a different role.
What's around him?
Right, exactly. And by the way, in the World Baseball Classic, when he had a real team around him and hit sixth, he looked fine.
Dave in Rockport. Jimmy, if you could, please pop him up on line 2. Dave in Rockport on the Bruins. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Felg, how you doing? Listen, I think you got to stop picking on Swayman. You know, yesterday you and Murray are laughing at him because he said my guys, and then he's sending to the bench about a timeout. I mean, the guy is a rock. He's our backbone. Look what's going on with Buffalo now with their goalie having the issues. And, you know, $8 million a year, whatever he's getting, he's worth it. I mean, you got to admit he's really the leader of the team right now. They look to him. So okay. I think you should, back off a little bit on your negativity towards Swayman.
No way. Dave, thanks for the call.
What is this thing now with all of a sudden, Swayman is the backbone of the team and backing off him if he says something? What? All of a sudden it's like the Swayman police are out there?
Well, I don't have to back off anyone. I don't work for the Bruins. It's not my job to make you feel good if you like Jeremy Swayman. It's my job to tell you what I think and feel, or that's how I want to do my job. I think the kid's insufferable, but he's playing great. And if you win this series, he'll be a big reason why. Do you want anything more than that? I think he's a house of pain.
The guy, 100%.
The guy opens his mouth, I want to punch him in the throat. And not that I'm any tough guy, he'd kick my ass. But you know what I mean. I want to take something and shove it down his throat. Shut up. You're painful to listen to. And I don't think he's worth $8 million. But he's playing great, and he could be a reason you win the series. Do you want anything more than that? And his thing the other day, I didn't get on him for calling that timeout. I got on Marco Sturm for probably being asleep at the wheel and not wanting to call the timeout. Swayman, forcing him to call that timeout was good. Good for Jeremy Swayman. I didn't criticize him for that. I said it shows the whole thing's a panic sandwich, though, that the coach himself doesn't have the wherewithal to call the timeout, and the goalie has to frantically gesture to the bench, timeout. That's a sign of an operation that is a panic sandwich. And then when Jeremy Swayman's asked about it, like I had to calm down my guys. Oh, stuff it, you. But he's playing great, and he might be a reason you win the series. If you want anything more than that, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go to Nesson or somewhere else to make you feel good. I need to lay off Jeremy Swayman. No, I don't. I don't have to lay off anything I don't want to lay off, unless my boss tells me to. Then I'll lay off.
You got the statement there?
Patriots have released a statement on Mike Vrabel. The New England Patriots fully support Mike Vrabel's decision to prioritize his family first, as well as his own well-being. Mike has been open with us about his commitment to being the best version of himself for his family, his team, and our fans, and we respect the steps he's taking to follow through on that commitment. We are confident in the leadership and communication Mike has established with our personnel staff throughout this pre-draft process. While he will not be present at the facility on Saturday, we know the draft evaluations are complete, and Elliot Wolf and his personnel staff are prepared to execute our draft as planned this weekend. I'm telling you, those 8 players.
The Sedona 8.
Seriously.
That's your phone.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was
someone
gave me my phone. Sorry, Rick. Those poor 8 players.
In the crosshairs.
Labeled. Those are the Do and 8? Is that what you call them?
the Do and 8, the Sedona 8, however you want to refer to them as.
So listen, if you think I don't think Vrabel's going to get fired. And
I was going to say, does this quell some of
yes.
Yeah,
yes. Any talk of him even being punished or anything like that?
It does. I take these statements on face value. And let me tell you one I got absolutely right at the time is North Carolina and Belichick. When Belichick, there was that period in there where it's like he's about to get fired. And he's meeting with, administrators and and then North Carolina came out with a statement on their digital letterhead that said we fully support Bill Belichick or whatever. And people said, oh, that's just a smokescreen. Oh, they're just saying that to give him cover. And I said, no. You publicly support him on your letterhead officially. He's safe for now. And I was right about that, and this is exactly what this is. He's safe for now. And what I mean by for now is for now.
Pending more information.
Well, but
if there are any. Yeah.
Listen, I think he's safe unless something really bad comes out. And I don't think anything really bad is going to come out. Him, whatever. To take whatever we know now to the next level. He's a womanizer. There's more illegitimate children. Whatever that bucket would entail is not enough. He's come clean, and it's not enough to get him fired. It'd have to be something beyond that.
That's what I think too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
if anything, this leads me to believe more that he might not have been completely honest with his wife, and these further revelations about how far back the relationship goes were a surprise to the Vrabel household.
We're here at Hurricanes in advance of Bruins Sabres Game 3. We'll hit on that with Bob Beers. Bob Beers, you want to weigh in on Russini and Vrabel, Bobby? I don't think so. We'll talk some pucks with Bobby Beers coming up after Big Jim Murray's update.
Bruins Buffalo tonight at the Garden. Gallagher and Maz right now at Hurricanes at the Garden. Brought to you by Coors Light, Blue Mountains Cold Beer, Bruins Red 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Face-off pulled back into the Boston zone. Peak to Zadorov in the near corner. He will clear it up the middle, and that will do it. The Bruins get one on the road here in Buffalo as they win it 4-2 over the Sabres and even this series at a game apiece.
Longtime voice of the Boston Bruins, one of them anyway, Bob Beers.
Beersy
joins us from Hurricanes down the street from the Garden.
It's the only time I get to join you guys.
It's that time of year, Bobby.
Yeah, no playoffs last year, so we skipped a year, so it's good to be back.
It's great to see you. And you know what? We were just talking off the air. Those were fun games.
Yeah, it was a good atmosphere in Buffalo. It's been 15 years, I think, since they made the playoffs. Fans were. They were jacked up, and I
You're
spent
from there.
I lived there for about 10 years. Yeah, I still have family there. Went to see them. Went to see some friends. And,
Cheektowaga. I spent a night with you one night in Cheektowaga, right?
It's not that wild of a town. So
no, it wasn't. But
I don't remember.
I do remember us making the most of it.
Cheektowaga hit the fan.
But people are just as excited as they get for the Buffalo Bills. Now they have something else to be excited about, and those are their two major sports teams. And good for them. Happy for them, but okay, now time to take care of business and get back here to Boston.
Bruins Sabres, who's the better team?
I didn't expect that one, Mike.
Yeah. I think Buffalo is. If you include goaltending, it's close.
Well, if you come into the series,
but I think they're.
Who's favored when you come into the series?
Yeah, the Sabres.
Exactly.
I think they're skating.
Buffalo, there you go.
I think their skating group.
They finish higher with more points. They had a great. Whatever it was since November or December where they just took off.
Don't you think they're faster, deeper, and more skilled?
No, I don't. I think that are they faster? I think some guys maybe if you allow them to be, and that's why you got to slow them down. That's the way they want to play. I don't think they're deeper. I do like their top 4D, but I think the Bruins have a game plan, a specific game plan, and. In the first two games now, they've only trailed for 5 minutes in the first two games. I know they blew game one. I completely understand that, and that's on them. They have to own that.
But don't you think they got outplayed for much of game one too? Even though they were leading?
Second period, I thought so, and then the last the last 8 minutes, obviously.
Possession, shots. It was Buffalo for the most of the game.
You got to look at the quality of shots, though, too, Mike. I do think that the second period they poured it on, and the Bruins survived. And I think Swayman was the biggest difference there in the second period. The Bruins had trouble breaking the puck out of the zone. They had trouble everything in the second. And then the third period, they were in control until the 8-minute mark. They survived the second. You're going to have momentum swings in games. You got it right.
Yep.
I really like the way they played in game two.
So what's their game plan against Buffalo?
Same thing. It's finding a balance between when to attack and forecheck and when to back off in that 1-2-2 in the neutral zone and try to slow them up and not allow them to come with speed at you.
Don't you think that they're doing that more than the second thing, more than the first? That they're just
they did
back,
in game one.
They're just sitting back in that neutral zone.
No, they did in game one, not in game two. The fans in Buffalo were like they were booing the Sabres.
Annoyed,
they wanted them to play fast and. They're holding on to the puck, and the Bruins are set up, and they're not attacking, and they're just backing up. But they do have to find that balance of when to attack and when not to. And I thought they did that in Game 2. Way better in Game 2.
So I was just going to say to you, how does Buffalo adapt now? What do you think Buffalo's going to do?
They want to play fast. They want to play fast.
Is there anything in particular they'll do to counter, though?
Quicker ups. Quicker ups. Don't wait. Don't sit there and wait and
get it and go.
Get it and go. Get going north as quickly as possible. They feel that they can forecheck the Bruins. They feel that they can create turnovers from the Bruins defense. Same thing the Bruins think on the other side of the ice, that the Bruins think that they can attack.
Well, I think
that's one of the weaknesses for the Bruins when they're not playing well is being able to get back for pucks, make a couple of good touches, and then they mismanage pucks sometimes.
Sometimes.
Well, they're flawed, Mike. It's why they're a wild card team and not first in the division. Well, you have to say, okay, they're flawed. They're going to make up for it with work ethic and with intensity and intelligence. Managing pucks at the right places and the right times of the game, managing the clock. Those are things that they have to have, and then they have to have the better goaltender, which they've had.
So on that, do you feel like that third line of theirs is ready to pop? Because
yes.
Minton had some chances in Game 2, and
I'd love to see them pop because they're fun to watch. They've got speed, and they're not backing down from. Buffalo's tried to bully them a little bit when they've been out there, and they haven't backed down at all. It's been pretty good to watch. They got stuck once in Game 2 in the second period where. They iced the puck and they got stuck in their own zone just a little bit, but it wasn't. They really haven't been stuck much at all. They've played well, and I think Hagen's has a goal if Thompson doesn't take a penalty in the second period in Game 2. I don't know if you guys remember it, but it led to the power play and Zacha's goal.
Okay.
So that was Hustadinov driving wide with his speed and then making the pass across the top of the crease. And Hagens was there for a tap-in. And Thompson wiped him out, took a penalty, Bruins score on Zacha's goal. So, doesn't show up on the score sheet, but they're doing their job.
But, Bobby, back to that thing.
I'd like to see them score, though.
That Buffalo wants to pick on the Bruins' defense with their speed and forechecking.
Sure.
The Bruins want to do the same.
Every team does.
Okay. I think that Buffalo has a big advantage if they're both trying to do the same thing. Dahlin and Samuelson, I think those guys are much steadier with the puck than your group, than McAvoy, Lindholm, on down the line. Okay. I think the end of these games, Bobby, it's exposed so badly. It's such a fire drill back there when the pressure gets turned on this Bruins team. It's like a fatal flaw to me. With
Game 1, I don't think Lindholm or McAvoy were anywhere near where they needed to be. And Game 2, they were both really good. And if they're good, if they're really good, you're going to build a lead, I think. I mean, I think that they can be difference makers in this series. Lindholm led everybody on ice time, right? They played really well. Penalty killing's been good. You don't want to take unnecessary penalties. You want to have the intensity, but not cross the line, that type of thing. But those guys have Game 2, they were much better.
Okay, here's another thing that I think is developed coming out of Buffalo that plays to the Bruins' advantage, and that is Buffalo so willingly want to engage in
bring it.
The quote-unquote nonsense, which I don't find nonsense. I love it. But
every series has it.
Okay, I know that. And, Bobby, across the league, I'm seeing more 5-on-5 scrums than I've ever seen in the playoffs, everywhere.
That Philly-Pittsburgh thing last night was unbelievable.
There's been a lot of dumb penalties around the league,
and
too.
Tampa-Montreal's doing it. You've done it a couple times, so it's like a thing in the league, and I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. But Buffalo going there, to me, not that I don't think the Bruins are all that more tougher or bigger. I think the teams might be, once you get past Zadorov, Buffalo might be bigger. And I don't think that you're any more tough than Buffalo, but because I do think Buffalo is faster and more skilled, that if they're going to take some attention and energy away from being faster and skilled to muck it up with the Bruins, then that's a win for you. And I think that pre-series comment by Sturm somehow got to the Sabres and Lindy Ruff, and that they have to prove their manhood and their toughness, that they're as big and tough as the Bruins. And
he took a shot at him after Game 1, Lindy Ruff.
And kind of Game 2.
Our physicality wore them down.
Yes, and after Game 2, he did it again. So I think this is a thing that's playing to the Bruins' advantage.
I mean, I said it before the series. I pull them into the alley, pull them into the mud a little bit. I don't mind that. Buffalo's tried to prove all year long. They had a game against Tampa. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yard sale, 8-7.
8-7.
It was tremendous.
Hundreds
200 penalties.
Hundreds of penalty minutes, and that was their kind of coming out party. You go back to the, Ryan Miller getting run over by Milan Lucic and nobody doing a thing. Yeah. And they've been maligned for that for years, and that type of play for years. This year, they had each other's backs, and it's a team toughness thing. It's not a, But I'm going to drop the gloves with Tanner Jeannot. I don't think anybody on that team wants to do that. He challenged the whole team the other day.
Doesn't that divert? Doesn't that divert from their?
It wasn't a John Wensink challenge. Come on to the bench with this, but it was pretty close.
If I were them, I would just worry about skating circles around them and pressuring the defense with our speed and our sticks.
Yeah. And a guy like Tage Thompson can do that, but you drew him and you pulled him into the alley the other day, and he got a 10-minute misconduct.
Right. So I think this is stupid by Buffalo.
I don't disagree with you. I think that they need to use a skating game if they're going to win, and maybe we'll see an adjustment by them in that regard here today. But if they want to play that game, I think it plays into the Bruins' hands.
Yes. Bob, we all saw Swayman call timeout from the ice. Okay, but why doesn't Sturm like timeouts?
Well, he could have. He could have called it without Swayman asking for it.
No,
I think he.
But he didn't call one in game one.
I know he didn't, and he doubled down and said no, we didn't need one. But then he called one in game two. So I'm
why?
thinking,
I think Swayman forced. I think
he might have. We'll never know because he won't reveal that.
But does he have any sort of general reluctance to call?
I have no idea. He's called timeouts before.
What Ty Anderson has said to us that he is on the record as saying that he doesn't love using them. He wants the players to work their way out of it, and as a player, that's what he wanted. And so I didn't know this.
It might be a little bit different now. Now that you're in the playoffs, and now that it's not the regular season, and you're not working through things, you're there to win games. It's not a development anymore. It's about W's.
That Charlie McAvoy low bridge on Melanson. I was listening in real time. You thought it wasn't as bad as it.
Mallenstein, yeah,
Mallenstein.
It wasn't as bad.
I disagree with you.
Well, it should have been a penalty, but it wasn't like. Did you see him get fined?
No.
Suspended?
No.
Well, no.
I thought it was borderline.
It wasn't that bad.
I thought he could have.
It wasn't that. He should go shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, right.
And that's what he usually does.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see him.
Well, he got Mallenstein.
Yeah.
Melanson?
Beck Mallenstein.
Beck Mallenstein.
It's a real hang-up.
Oh, no. I've been struggling all week.
we have trouble with Smith and Jones on this show.
Mallenstein ran him just like 5 seconds before. Yeah. Gave him a good shot in the back, and I think McAvoy.
That's the way he has to play.
McAvoy was feeling that, and I'm going to get this guy, and it was too Brad Marchand-y.
And what did Benson do? He got run by Zadorov. So what did he do? He stuck his stick into Swayman's pads there in the third period after Swayman had the puck covered, and that's when Zadorov came through and cleaned him up. But that's what happens. I mean, you get a little frustrated if you get wiped out. You get a little frustrated. You're going to take a run at a guy, or you're going to do something to somebody else. That's the emotions.
Bob Beers join us here. You'll hear him on the call of the game starting at 7 o'clock. Puck drop.
Yep.
7:07 here on
12 or something.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Buffalo apparently changing goalies. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is a good goaltender. He's been pretty good at times. I thought he was really shaky in game one, that the Bruins could have taken advantage of him, and they didn't quite finish a couple chances that they had, or passed up a couple chances that they had. He was pretty good in game two until he wasn't, until that goal, and especially the fluke goal that was scored. Good goal by Zacha. I didn't think he had a chance on that. And then, the Sabres gave up a 2-on-1 on
right out of the chute in the third period.
So Buffalo's given up 2 breakaways to Pastrnak. Kaslik had a breakaway.
Yeah.
Arvidsson had a breakaway out of the box. Zacha had a 2-on-1 in the second period that I thought he got lucky on the save. He just caught a piece of his pad. And then the 2-on-1 in the third period was by Arvidsson. The Bruins have not given that up the other way.
No, it's true. They've given away
odd man rushes.
It's true.
And that's part of the neutral zone.
Yep.
If you can't forecheck, if you can't establish a forecheck, you back off into that containment and force them to dump the puck in. They've been pretty and when you say disciplined hockey, it's not always staying out of the box. It's positionally and managing the puck. And aside from a few moments, which have cost them, they've been pretty good in that area.
Okay, so you think the Bruins are the Sabres equal, and this is anyone's series?
I think it's a great matchup for Boston. I'm not saying that they're not the favorite. They're the underdog, no matter who they played against coming into this playoffs, just based on points. But I think the inexperience of the Sabres and the goaltending matchup gave them a good opportunity, a good chance.
Bobby, thanks for coming by. We look forward to
Good
the
to
call
see you,
tonight.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Bobby,
So,
always
guys.
a pleasure. Maybe if they hang in there, maybe we'll see you again.
I'd like that.
Okay, Bobby. I'll take.
Not really, you wouldn't, but
Be honest, they made you do this. A quick word from our sponsor, and we're back. We're here till 6:30, so an hour and a half to go here on Felger and Maz. Back to your calls right after this.